Hey, it's Kat here, and today we're going to be crocheting this Chunky Raglan Sweater, perfect for the colder months. This is made with one of my favourite stitches, the waistcoat stitch, which looks a lot like knitting, and it's worked from the top down, so you can see your progress throughout and you can try it on any time that you like. Let's get into it. For this sweater, you will need 800-gram balls of Paintbox Simply Chunky yarn in the colour Soft Fudge, a 10mm crochet hook, a 5 or 6mm crochet hook, some stitch markers and some scissors. We're going to be starting with making this lovely ribbed collar. So to do this, we're going to start by chaining 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11 and 12. And now we're going to go into every stitch and we're going to slip stitch. So row 1, we're going to go in, yarn over and pull through. You'll have 2 loops on your hook and you're just going to pull through that last one. And the ribbed effect is made up of slip stitching 1 row and then doing another type of stitch in the next row, which I'll show you in a minute. When you get to the end, you just want to chain 1. Turn, and in row 2, you're going to be working half double crochet slip stitch into the front loop only, which sounds like a mouthful, but I'll show you how to do it. So yarn over, go into this front loop, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook, and all you're going to do is just pull the first one through these 2. And that's your half double crochet slip stitch in the front loop only. Okay, so we're going to practice that again. So yarn over, go into the front loop, yarn over again and pull through. You've got 3 loops on your hook and you pull through. Okay, so we can do this all the way along, and it makes it easier because you've got a bigger hook than your yarn. So you've got lots of room to play with. And this is what's going to make up your ribbed collar. When you get to the end of every row, all you want to do is chain 1. So we've got our slip stitches in the front loop only, and then half double crochet slip stitches in the front loop only in the next row. Chain 1 and turn. All right, so I'll meet you back here when you've done 56 rows, or as wide as you would like your collar. Now I have my 56 rows. And we're going to just fold it over like this, and then I can slip stitch this seam together. The way I find best to do it is to take my hook out and leave this little hole here, loop, kind of put them together and then put your hook through the other side, grab the loop and grab it, pull it through that one. And then you're just going to slip stitch all the way along. And you line the stitches up like this. Just grab and pull through all three. There we go, that's completely together now, all sewed up. Now we're going to fold this over. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So I'm going to get this, go into this first stitch here and pull through. And I'm actually going to be doing, there we go, just to kind of secure it. I'm actually going to be doing single crochets around this. So I'm going to chain one at first. And then do single crochets all the way around the edge. So if we can do it with our bigger hook. Okay. There's one. Going to be going all the way around the edge. Fabulous, so now I've single crocheted all the way around the edge and I've joined with a slip stitch here. What I'm going to do in this next round is I'm going to chain one, and just to finish off this collar I'm going to single crochet in back loop only. So this next stitch, instead of going in through this complete stitch, I'm going to single crochet into this back loop here. Just like that. And what starts to happen is this line starts to appear. Can you see it yet? This line here. So it just kind of finishes off the neckline really neatly. So I'll meet you back here when you've done all of yours, and then we can start on our raglan effect for the shoulders. Back where we started, I'm just going to join this with a slip stitch in that back loop so it looks kind of neat. Now we're going to use our stitch markers to mark out each corner, because the raglan effect is going to be done in corners. So I have 4 stitch markers here, and I'm going to mark them at stitch 16, stitch 28, stitch 44 and stitch 56. So I'll put those up on the screen for you, and I'm going to mark them out. So you're just going to count from 1 to 16 and mark it out there, and then do the others as is on screen. So you now should have something that looks like this. And now we can start on our waistcoat stitch. This is going to be our waistcoat stitch round, hurrah. So I'm going to chain 1, because I've just joined this round, so I'm going to chain 1. And the waistcoat stitch is very, very similar to the single crochet stitch. If I was doing a single crochet, I would put my hook into this hole here in the top of the stitch. But I don't want a single crochet, I want a waistcoat stitch. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our hook and put it through this part here. The first round is a lot harder to see, but it's like a little V underneath. So we're going to pop it into the little V, and it will be hard at first. Pop it through and grab your yarn as usual. And then just yarn over and pull through as you would a normal single crochet. Okay, so we're going to do this all the way around. See that next V is here. We're doing this all the way around until you get to stitch 16. Trust me, it's going to look lovely. Right, I've done my first 16 stitches and it should look a bit like this. Your marker is kind of hiding behind. And I've done my 16th stitch. Now I'm going to chain 1. Then I'm going to waistcoat stitch back into the same stitch that I have just gone into. So stitch 16. Go back into that same stitch and do another waistcoat stitch. That's all there is to it. So you now have 2 together in this stitch and you have a chain. So you've made yourself a little space here. And that's what's going to create that Raglan effect. I'm just going to do this all the way around. So for every stitch marker there is, don't forget to go into the waistcoat stitches instead of the top of the stitch. It's literally all I'm going to do. So when I come to the next stitch marker, I'm going to go into that stitch, which will be stitch 28. I'm going to go into that stitch, chain 1, and then go back into the same stitch. And I'm going to do that for all 4 of the markers. So now we have 1 round into our Raglan effect. So we've got the spaces where the stitch markers are, and all you're going to do is just carry on around, and every marker you're going to go into the space, chain 1, and then waistcoat stitch into the space again. And that will create your increase. So to create my Raglan effects, I have the space here. So I've done my waistcoat stitch here. I'm going to go into this stitch here and just single crochet into the space that I created when I did my last Raglan. So that's going to be 1, and then I'm going to chain 1, go back into that space with my single crochet 1, and now I can carry on waistcoat stitching merrily along until I get to my next marker. And that's how to do the raglan increase. It's going to create kind of corners, looks like corners or something you might get in a granny square. And I'm going to do this until my piece is long enough so it kind of comes just below where my arms are, like where I want the arms to join kind of under the armpits, because that will be where the arms start. Okay, so the good thing with this is you can kind of keep trying it on and you'll be able to tell how long it needs to be. So I'll meet you back here when I have that, and then we can know how many rows we're doing. Alrighty, so I've done 17 rounds and now my piece of work looks like this. So just try this on. I'm not going to chain under the arms because I feel like the armhole is big enough. I've just put some stitch markers here and I feel like I don't need to chain anything else because the arms are big enough. If you would like to, you can chain, put a little chain underneath and that will expand the armhole, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it as it is. So up to the corner, put the two corners together, join. So I'm going to just take my hook out, go into the corner of this one, grab the yarn and pull it through that loop. And if you want, you can chain one, and then you're going to go back into that corner and then single crochet. You're just going to go into all the waistcoat stitches. And this is starting our new round. So we've done round 17, this is round 18. All right, and literally you're just going to go round and round and round until, I'm going to join the other corner of course. But you're going to go round and round and round until it's long enough. This is the main body. All right, so I'll meet you back here when you have enough of the main body to cover your main body. All right, so I've crocheted 43 rounds of the waistcoat stitch. It's looking great, but you can crochet as long as you like. So I've done 43 rounds onto the waistband. So I'm going to start the waistband separately to this. The waistband is going to be exactly the same as the collar. So I'm going to start by chaining 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I'm going to do slip stitches all the way down here. So we have going through once and then through again. Slip stitches all the way down this row 1 of our waistband. Pop the hook through, yarn over, pull through, and then just pull through again. Okay, so now we have our slip stitches. We're going to chain 1 and we are going to half double crochet slip stitch. So we're going to yarn over, go into that back loop, or the front loop, sorry, front loop, pull through, and then pull through those 2. All right, so yarn over, go in, yarn over, you've got 3 on your hook. You're going to still pull the first one through the other 2, and that's going to make that chunky ribbed effect. So I'm going to do this for as long as the waistband is. When it gets to a certain point, I'm going to measure it around the waistband. Don't forget that last one. There. Oops. Okay. So you're going to alternate. You're going to do slip stitch, half double crochet slip stitch in the front loop only. So this is going to go around the bottom like this. So it's going to go, okay, like that. So you need to make it long enough for it to go all the way around. And I'll meet you back here when you've done that many rows, and then we can sew it on. Fabulous. Now I have enough waistband to go around, and I'm going to attach it to the main body before I cast off. So I've got my steel yarn attached here, and then I can adjust it if needed. We're going to join this with slip stitches and a smaller hook. I've got a 5.5 here, but you could use a 5 or a 6 or something. You could even use your 10mm hook, but I think it makes it look a bit neater if you use a smaller hook here. So fresh ball of yarn, and you're going to join these two together. So through that one, and then through probably like the side of this one, just so you don't see the join so easily. Pull that through, chain one, sort of together. You can kind of put that inside. Then I'm going to go along here and just get that out of the way. I'm going to go through the 2 loops of this one and pull through and then pull through again. So I'm going to use slip stitches all the way along. I'm going to do it on a flat surface so you can see it maybe a bit better. Don't worry if this has got big holes here, that will straighten out. Go. So that's what it's going to start to look like. I'm going to do this all the way around, and then we can always add on if we need to. Then I'm going to just slip stitch all the way down here until the end. For the arms, I'm going to start by joining a new piece of yarn, and I'm going to put it right at the bottom of where your armhole is. Slip stitch it through. And then if your arm is a little bit bigger than you'd like, I usually like it to be about 40 stitches around. So what I'm going to do with these ones is I'm going to slip stitch a few stitches up. In fact, 2 stitches up. You don't have to do this. You can make it as wide as you like, but I like my arms not too wide, and this is a very thick and dense fabric, so there we go. So it's a little bit more like that. The next thing you're going to do is we're going to work in the round like we were with the body, and just carry on with our waistcoat stitches and go all the way around. I'm going to do this for 2 rounds, and then every 3rd round we're going to do a decrease. Just want to show you the other arm that I've already done, so you'll see what it's going to look like. Because we want to taper the arm like this. Okay, so it's going to go down like this, which means we need to decrease every 3rd stitch. So I'll meet you back here when you've done 2 rounds of this, and then we'll do our decrease. Okay, so now I have done my 2 rounds starting off. on the sleeve, and I have 40 stitches around. I usually find this is the magic number, 40, and it just makes sure that the start of your sleeve is usually the right width for a medium. We're going to do our decrease under the arm so you can't see it. So all I'm going to do is go into the waistcoat stitch next, as usual, like that, but instead of pulling up yarn, I'm going to go straight into the next stitch from the back. Yarn over and pull through both stitches. And then I can yarn over and pull through. So that's 2 stitches into one. And now I'm going to mark it with a stitch marker. So this is that 3rd stitch. Now I can go around 2 more times. And I'll do that again when I come to the marked stitch, and I'll know that I can decrease again every 3rd stitch. And I'm going to do that until the arm is long enough. Okay, so now we have our arm, which is about 40 rounds from where the armpit is. You can also make it longer or shorter. I've tried this on and it just hangs really nicely. We need to now make the cuff. And the cuff is going to be exactly the same as when you made your waistband. So I have one here. You need to make 2 of them. It's exactly the same as what you did in your waistband. So where you chained 8 and then just carry on until you're kind of happy. I'm going to make these a little bit smaller than this, so it kind of like goes in. I'll show you, I've actually already done it on the other one. A little bit like that. We're now slip stitching this together like we did with the waistband. So nothing new here. Just slip stitching all of the outer stitches together. Right, how I'm going to join these is I'm going to get the bottom of the arm. You can join them however you like. You can sew them, you can do whatever you like. I'm going to pop it inside, and then I'm going to get that loop that was joined to the crochet hook, and that was on the crochet hook, sorry, and join it. To kind of start. And then I'm just going to slip stitch all the way around this. You don't have to do it that way, but also you need to think about it them being kind of different lengths or different sizes. So this is obviously smaller. So you need to, you know, like there's going to be less stitches in this part. So you need to allow for that. It usually naturally just kind of comes together, but you want to just keep that a bit tighter and this one a bit looser. So you can kind of naturally drop a few stitches along the way without it looking completely holy or uneven or anything. But I just kind of do it by eye. You don't have to do it this way at all. You could use needle and thread, but I do it this way because it's easier and it just is still on the hook. I've just weaved in the end, so moment of truth. Now we're going to pull it inside out, or pull it right way out. And there we go. We have our chunky cuff. Lovely. Now, if you're at this point, your jumper should be finished. So jumper, sorry, it's a sweater, really. But yeah, it is beautiful. It's so chunky and lovely to wear in the colder months. I just love this waistcoat stitch. It's honestly really, really nice. And there is a pattern for this that I've written. It's oversized, but I'd say this is like a medium. I'm gonna put the pattern up for all sizes. It's just really simple and I absolutely love it. Also thinking of doing this style of jumper with a thinner yarn, so it's not as bulky. Let me know what you think and I would love to do that. So there we have it, a cozy raglan sweater to wear on those chillier days. If you need to follow along with the pattern, it is linked below. I really hope you like this one. If you got to this stage in the video, hi, I'm Kat and I really, really appreciate you being here. My channel is about all things crochet, so if you love crochet, then give me a subscribe. If you wondered why I have a bed in my lounge, we are having our bedroom decorated at the moment, so that was why that is there in the background. If you like this video, then you're gonna love this video where I make a beautiful burgundy cardigan and it's available with the pattern as well. I'll see you there.